Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about our Life as a Highway activity. Now it says here that the teacher will assign you a random monthly income, and incomes range from $350 to $600 per month. Now in your assignments on the Google Classroom, you will find this job assignment page that has your job assignment, a car, and mileage that is available for you to use during this activity. Now, this one is not available for anyone to use. I decided to reserve this just for myself so that I could demonstrate some of this activity for you. So my job is landscaping and lawn care, and my net income is $588. Now, a little detail about gross income versus net income. Gross income is what you make before taxes are taken out. Now, net income is what you make after the taxes. It's what's actually deposited into your account. So you always want to look at the net income, not the gross, because you will never see this gross income amount actually deposited into your account. The net income is what you actually have to work with. All right, so it looks like landscaping and lawn care, and net income is $588. So that's what I'm going to write here. So landscaping and lawn care. And my net income is $588. All right, now on to part one. So one of the largest expenses that you will eventually encounter is transportation. Many of you already know this because several of you already work. The largest expenses within the transportation budget are gas, insurance, and the cost of a car. Now, typically, a teen spends no more than 50% of their monthly income. On transportation costs, which include gas, insurance, and the cost of a car. Now, you'll notice that I was making some notations as I went through and as I was reading those directions. I highly recommend that you try to do something similar. Now, when someone says no more than, that means that what they're about to say is the absolute highest limit that you can possibly reach. So that's going to be your maximum. Now, right after this, they tell you how to find your maximum. 50% of the monthly income. Now, my net up here is my monthly income. So I'm looking at 50% of $588, which would basically be half of that. If you take 50 divided by 100, which is what percent actually means, that equals 0.5. That's where the 0.5 in these parentheses came from. And then right here, I would put in the 588, or you can put in whatever your net income is. Now on to the parts that we actually work out. We need to write a simple inequality, so that means one that doesn't have too many other moving parts to it, to show how much of your monthly budget can be allotted towards transportation costs. Use the variable x to represent the most amount of money, so the most amount of money that you can spend. Remember, a teen spends no more than, so this is your maximum, 50% of their monthly income on transportation. So let's see, 50% of my monthly income is going to equal about $294 per month. So X represents what I can spend. And what I can spend has to be less than or equal to, let's see, 50% of my monthly income, so less than or equal to $294. That's it. That is a simple inequality. The term simple inequality means that you're not putting any bells and whistles in this. You're literally just showing the relationship between these. So what I can spend has to be less than or equal to the maximum amount, which is my half of my income. Now, on average, a teen would spend at most $100 in gas a month. Now, for insurance, a teenage boy would spend $75 per month. A teenage girl would spend $70 per month. You've been assigned the monthly salary from the previous section. this is the previous section. Refer back to the salary that you were given. All right, so write an inequality to represent the amount of money at most you can spend on transportation costs that now include insurance and gas. So now I'm going to say y is equal to other car expenses. Now the reason I'm doing that is that down here in letter B, and it says to solve this inequality and determine approximately how much of your 50% budget you have remaining to cover other car expenses. So here's the deal. We already know 2 out of the 3 things that are going into this inequality. We know the cost for gas and we know the cost for insurance. So now we need to figure out how much we have left for anything else that happens throughout the month. So let's see. We had the other car expenses plus the $100 that we spend in gas each month plus, well, we have 2 different numbers here. I happen to be a girl. Granted, I'm not a teenager anymore, but for the sake of argument, let's pretend like I am. So, teenage girl spends $70 per month. If you're a teenage boy, you will want to use the $75. Right, and then the rest of this is going to follow as it did before. We have our less than or equal to sign because what we spend has to be less than or equal to half of our budget or half of our salary. All right, so our other car expenses plus the gas plus the insurance has to stay less than or equal to half of our monthly income. That's what this entire inequality actually says. Now it's in symbol language, but symbol language can always be turned back into words. Our other car expenses plus our gas money plus our insurance money has to remain less than or equal to half of our monthly income. Now we need to go through and solve. So I'm actually going to start solving up here and let the answer kind of filter down into this. I'm first going to simplify this expression. So y plus 170 is less than or equal to 294. And now we have to go through and actually solve for y. So because I have addition attached to this y variable, I'm going to use subtraction to remove the number that was added. And what you do to one side, you must do to the other to keep this balanced. Otherwise, the relationship that was there is no longer going to be true. And as I work through this, I get y is less than or equal to, let's see, I believe this is 124. Let me double check that real quick. 294 minus 170, yes, 124. So what does this mean? This means that I have $124 remaining in my budget for other car expenses. Now this last question here, the think about it part. Explain why some drivers may spend more or less money than others. Now this I'm going to leave you to think on tonight. And then tomorrow we'll actually come back and we'll talk about this. All right, let me know your thoughts here at the end of the video. I'll see you in class.